Good morning, I'm Sharaad Kuttan and welcome to BFM's Morning Headlines. We start with the big story of the day. Fat paychecks, says the new Straits Times. Now, that refers to the Selangor State Government. It's the Menteri Besar, the Speaker of the House, the Deputy Speaker of the House. A whole range of people in the Assembly have gotten pay rises, some amounting to 300%. The question is, are these pay rises fair? I guess for those who oppose the Selangor State Government, this is kind of fodder for their anti-Pakatan mill. The Star has, with its headline, a day of hikes, and it tries to equate the rise in electricity tariffs with the salary increase, because salaries don't directly affect your pocket. Electricity tariffs will. Is that a fair comparison, I ask you? Also, Berita Harian, Gaji YB naik. So there you have, again, everybody's asking this question. More importantly, I guess for us, is whether we pay our politicians enough, and will the pay scales of our politicians attract talent into government, and to what extent pay rises are self-serving. So on balance, not sure. Something that we need to decide as the paying public. Berita Harian has the same story, apa kata rakyat? So they're asking the question, how do people feel about these pay rises? And who do they ask? Also, civil servants in Selangor did get a pay rise too, so it wasn't just the politicians. On the question of KL's assessment rates, this is the kind of thing that affects your pocket directly for the people of Kuala Lumpur and the Federal Territories. Federal Territories Minister has apologized. Apparently, they meant to first send a notice in anticipation of assessment rate hikes. Instead, they made the announcement of the assessment rate hikes. What is promised is more consultation, more communication before they actually put the plan in place. So here you have a minister apologizing. It always warms the cockles of my heart. Malay Mail, KL folk get it their way for now, and that's actually very important. For now is the point. The other person who has been gracing our front pages, of course, is this young woman, no longer young woman, Siti Aisyah. She's now part of the storm they call the Lambert slave. Was she really a slave? And the Malay word for slave is hamba. I think that's the word for today. Hamba. And whether you're a slave or a servant, that's the question. Now, there's some dispute about who she is, but they've been dragging up history. We talked about this before. This is really a throwback to a time when ideologies were really big and they were extreme and they were divergent. And that Malaysia's kind of moved on from that. But still, it's an interesting reminder of a time now forgotten. Lastly, Harian Metro has this story. It's a minor story. That's a domestic abuse story. But this story here, Papa Gomo, you remember him? He was that major blogger. Apparently, he was going to stand against Anwar Ibrahim in the last general election. He did not, in fact, turn up. He's part of what they call the cyber troopers of one side of our political divide, and he's quite notorious. The question is, of course, and was before, who is the man? He's now up for some case, but not to do with what he's written, but what he's not delivered in terms of some domestic commitments. So, still interesting. He's on the front page. And before we go, the young lady who I mentioned before, who's part of the National Unity Consultative Council. Now, you see, even when you wear tudung, you can still look alluring. But what is important is that this story, Jangan Petikai, says Wardina. What is she asking you not to dispute? Her involvement in the National Unity Consultative Council. She's saying, well, people will have their opinions. I've always been happy without the limelight. Now I'm in the limelight. I'm going to do the job the best I can. And this doesn't actually appear on the serious side of the newspapers. It appears in the entertainment section. So there you have it. The entertainment section will never be the same. Zaz. There she is, not just in the ads, because there she's looking very angelic, coquettish. This is a corak baru for her Wardina style.
I can't take this anymore.
What? No, hold on. This is a serious thing about this.
No,
now, see, she's got over 850,000 Twitter followers, okay?
Take it out of the way.
Okay. Here you are.
Good morning. I'm Nadia Hassan, and I'll be taking over for Sharaad Kuttan for Friday and Monday while he's away getting some fashion sense. So come back tomorrow for your morning headlines with me, BFM 89.9.